All right. So here is an HTML for the drop down, right? A drop down menu here with 3 different options: big, this will be medium, and small. So the idea is that when we select any of these 3, you can click on the download button, and that's going to display an image inside a division according to the size selected, right? So this is just the HTML. I added some CSS to it to make it look nice. So this like this, right? So I have select drop down, right? So big, medium, or small. Download, and when I click on download, I should see here the image that I selected, the size. So let's see. So if it's going to be when I click on the download button, then on click to download, right? I will need a function. So let's call this download image. That's the name of my function, download image. So I will need a JavaScript file. Okay. And here I'm going to have my function download image. So the first thing that download image will require is to know which option was selected. It's a drop down, right? So I'm going to give an ID to my drop down. I'm going to call it size. So on click, download image, and download image is supposed to get that image. So variable size equals document dot get element by ID size dot value. So that's it. When I click on it, I'm going to get whatever value was selected. And just to test, I'm going to alert the size. And we'll see if I am actually getting that value. So I'm going to select big, big, perfect. Medium, medium, small, small. And those were actually the values that are in here: big, medium, small. So the value of each drop down, that's what I'm getting when I click on the button. Okay, next I will need to insert the image inside this division here called showcase. So I'm going to select that element, document dot get element by ID, showcase, right? And I'm going to insert an image. So dot inner HTML equals an image. Here's where I'm going to put my image. So image source equals to an image. Okay, I have a bunch of images here. So let's start by the first one, just to see if this works. So I'm going to insert the big one, .jpg. Okay, so far I am not choosing what image. I'm just going to insert an image, the big one. I'm not choosing the size, nothing. So let's see. It says big and nope, it didn't insert the image, so it's good. Pardon me? Ah, thank you. The folder images / pitch. Okay. So let's see again. Big, and there you go. It inserted my image. I need to work on the CSS, but there's my big image. So it worked. Now the idea is to select an image. I have 3 images. So I have Beach Paradise big, Beach Paradise medium, and Beach Paradise small according to the size. Right? So I'm going to put the 3 images here. So I have big, medium, and small. Right. So if we think about it, the way we would do it as humans would be, okay, if the big one is selected, I show the big one. If the small one is selected, I show the small one. If. So there's ifs, right? So we're going to put a conditional. If size equals big, I'll insert the big one, right? If the size is medium, I'll insert the medium one. If the size is small, I'll insert the small one. Right? So I don't need this anymore. I'm going to change the styling of the width and height here. I'm going to put it 1024 by 768. Okay. So when I click on download, I'm going to get the size, which is the value of the drop down. If the size is big, I insert the big image. If the size is medium, I insert the medium image. If the size was small, I will insert the small one. So medium, there you go. Big, there you go. And small, there's my small. Okay? Now, this is one option, right? Another option would be if I realize that big, medium, and small, they're actually the same variables changing in the name of my image. Well, I can use that in my advantage and just, instead of making some conditionals, it depends on every person's approach, I could use the name of the size and concatenate it in that part of the name of the image, right? Because size will contain big, medium, or small, so I can change this part of the image, of the source of the image, and concatenate it with the name of the image. So that is a very short code, right? I'm going to put this here. And that's all. So I select the size. It will be big. It will insert the image size, because that's the name I gave to my images, right? In that case, my images will need to have a name that I can use with my code. So let's see, big, again the big one, medium, and small. I am just changing the name of the source with big, medium, and small, which is actually the real name of the image. Okay? All right. That was one option. But I want to work with the conditionals. Okay? Why? Because there is another way of doing this with the conditionals with something called switch. So I'm going to go down here and add a comment for switch. And switch is another option that we have on programming, which will switch according to a value that we put. It would be equivalent to this part of the code. So the switch, the way it works, we say switch, open close parenthesis, open close curly brackets. And the switch will take a parameter, which is, in this case, size, for example. Right? And then we're going to build up cases. In the case that size is big, I'm going to do something. And I'm going to break my case. Right? In the case that is medium, I'll do something else. In the case that it is small, oops, I'll do something else. So that's how a switch works. Switch will take a variable, and it will check for the value of that variable. Break means that it will not continue to check the other cases. It will just execute big and finish here. It will not continue to check the rest. That's what break means. If you don't have break, it is possible, but it will continue to check the rest. In this case, I need a break because I found what I was looking for. I found that the case is big, and I'm going to do this. Which is, this code is equivalent to my conditionals that I have here. Right? If the size is big, do this. If the size is medium, do this other. Same thing here. In the case that is big, do this. So, if it's big, I'm going to insert this image. If it's medium, I'm going to insert this other image. And if it's small, I'm going to insert the small image. So I'm going to comment the conditionals and test my switch. Big, medium, or small. Okay? So this is another option. Instead of using ifs, switch. Now, switch is not going to work, for example, if I say if size is equal to big and I don't know, I have another thing here like width is smaller than 100. I mean, if it's a very complex conditional, I cannot use switch because switch is only searching for one value, right? So if I have a more complex conditional, then the if statement is the right choice. If it's just to check one single thing like this, well, then switch might be a good option. And I think it's kind of easy to understand.